Good morning, Saints. So, firstly, don't be judging the way I look today. I'm looking rough. The clothes is not clothing actually. The hair is not hairing because I'm having a bad hair day. And you know what? Jesus said, "Come as you are." So I'm here to deliver this word as I am. Okay. So this word that I'm giving today is based off of a piece of a dream that I had. Now, sometimes God gives me dreams. If you watch any of my other videos, then you know that I'm a dreamer by now. God gives me dreams for myself sometimes, words that I'm not going to tell you guys about because it's specifically for me. But then sometimes he gives dreams to where he just wants me to put it out for you guys. And then he also gives dreams that involve me and you. So this dream right here, I believe, was for me and for you. So please don't ever, when I'm talking about things on here and you're feeling convicted or you're feeling like it's for you, please don't ever for 2 seconds think that I'm acting holier than thou or that I'm judging you. Because one thing about it, no matter what YouTube prophet or prophetess that you guys watch on here, we all have things that God is working out in us. If you guys are searching for perfection, please, you can exit stage left on this channel because ain't gonna be no perfection here. I have flaws too. I am just trying to walk in the purpose that God has given me and deliver the words as he tells them. I'm just a vessel, but I have my flaws too, and so does every other YouTube prophet and prophetess on here. So don't be listening to them if they're trying to act like there's nothing going on in their life, because it is. I'm not telling you not to listen to their videos, but don't take that piece of their word if they're saying that their life is perfect, because that's just not the truth. Nobody's life is perfect. So in this dream, this piece of the dream, I was watching from afar, and there was a girl getting in her car, and she had like a little baby with her. Maybe not like a small baby, but maybe like a 1-year-old. No larger than 2 for sure. The baby was crying, and I could specifically, like, God allowed me to specifically see that baby's face. The baby was crying, and she was trying to put the baby in the car. And then I came away from that part of the dream. So I'm going to read to you guys the biblical interpretation of what a crying baby symbolizes in a dream, okay? And so a crying baby symbolizes neglected spiritual needs, a call to intercessory prayer or urgent attention required for a neglected area of your life. It may reflect a newborn project or calling that requires nurturing. While it can signify spiritual distress, it can also represent a divine nudge to wake up spiritually or prep for a new season. It represents a part of your God-given purpose that has been ignored or left to struggle. So there may be something that God has told you to do. He has showed you the first step. Maybe he hasn't showed you the whole thing, because we know that God doesn't give us the whole layout sometimes. Sometimes he just gives us the first step, the first thing we need to do that we have not done yet. Or there's something that you have been neglecting that God has told you to do. So now this is in my case. We're going to talk about me because I'm guilty of some of this stuff too, you guys. Like I said, I am not perfect. But there was something that I started. I'm going to say a project just because I don't want to tell you guys all the details. But there's something that I started maybe about a year ago, actually. It took me a little while to, get into it. But I needed to go back and redo a couple of the things regarding that project. And I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. That has been sitting there for at least 6 months, and I have not touched it since. It was almost complete. I had to go back and do a few more things, and I didn't make the time to go back and do it. I haven't made the time. And God has been highlighting it to me lately, telling me to, pick up this, go do this, go do this. And so now I got a little step further now. I've moved it to a place where I can see it now, but I still haven't started it yet. And I know there's a bunch of people out there who are just like me, the procrastinators. Now, some things I can get straight to, I don't procrastinate about. But this specific project, I have been procrastinating for about 6 months. So when he showed me this baby, he showed it with a girl, letting me know that there are others, the way that he showed me, but then he zoomed in on the baby's face as if to tell me, you too. So I'm guilty as charged too, y'all. There's something I've been neglecting, and there's something that you have possibly been neglecting. When God tells you to do something, there's always obviously a greater purpose and a greater thing that you cannot see around it. Like, so it goes back to Exodus in the Bible. Biblically, there is in Exodus when Moses was first born, and we know the story of Moses and how his mom had to put him in the basket in the river, and how he got found and stuff like that. It all started with a crying baby, just like in my dream. There is something bigger that God is trying to do in you or show you or have you start, but he can't do that if you don't pick up the baby. If you don't pick up the new project, if you don't pick up the pen and paper, whatever God told you to write, if you don't start that ministry that God told you to start, And a lot of it comes from fear. We're afraid of failure. But God didn't give us the spirit of fear. And understand that God will never throw something on you or throw you in something that he does not plan on holding your hand the whole way or showing you the steps to create that ministry or that book or whatever it is he told you to do. I'm going to read to you guys Ephesians 2:10. This is the King James Version. Of course, y'all know I love the KJV. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are as his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath given before, ordained that we should walk in them," meaning walking in your God-given purpose. God has already ordained that purpose for you. And a lot of us have been running from it or putting it on the back burner or not starting it right now. And then we go to God and complain about our struggles when in all reality, he already has something set for you, but you've been neglecting it the whole time. So now you're causing yourself to struggle. And again, a lot of it comes from just fear. And you have to pray and go to God to release those fears and lay all those burdens at his feet so that he can help you. He will help you. God will not just give you a task and leave you there to do it on your own. He won't. But yeah, this word is for somebody who is neglecting their purpose or their ministry or something that you have laid to the back burner that God told you to do right now. Remember, obedience is better than sacrifice, because the last thing you want to do is be taking steps forward in something else when God already told you to do the other thing. So now it just creates a whole whirlwind of issues, all because you didn't follow what God told you to do. So yeah, release the crying baby, y'all. Pick that baby up and just get it started. It's very hard. And so I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to work on it this week. I set a goal for yourself. If it is something that you feel like, okay, I don't have time for this. God told me to do this, but right now I just don't have time, because we got kids and we have jobs and we have school and we have other things besides that. You have to pick a time and schedule it for yourself. So I'm super good with starting a schedule, but one thing about me is sometimes it just fall off in a week or two because life be lifing. And that's just the reality. Life be lifing, but you have to plan it, because it's the same thing with before I started to read my Bible consistently. Before I started to read my Bible consistently, I probably would read it for a week in a row, and then it'll dwindle down. Before I know it, I haven't read it in months. That's how my life used to be. Until I literally sat down and was like, you know what? This is going to become a part of my lifestyle. I don't want to just do it just because God specifically wants us to read our Bible, and I'm doing it just because of that. No, this is a part of my lifestyle. I plan on walking in purpose for the rest of my life. I plan on letting everything be God-led and Spirit-led for the rest of my life. I plan on having a great relationship and being in love with God for the rest of my life. So I have to create a plan. Because how else will I get to know God if I'm not reading his word? And so every day that I would sit here and I would just be like, okay, this morning time, I would pick a time and I would be like, okay, morning. This is when I'm going to read my Bible. And every day, morning, as soon as I get up, this is when I'm going to pray. To the point where it became a lifestyle and a routine. Sure, some days I have to push stuff over a little bit because of whatever, maybe an appointment or something that was not normal. But other than that, this is my lifestyle now. You have to do the same thing with your God-given purpose or whatever he told you to do, the ministry, the book, whatever. This has to become a part of your lifestyle and not just something that you want to just come in whenever you feel like it. Because guess what? We will be upset if God start treating us like whenever he feel like it. But yeah, so I hope this word resonated to the people it needed to get to. Be sure to like the video if you got this far. Thank you, and I appreciate you so much. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.